Hi, Elmhurst Yoga Clubbers. I'm so glad that we can make this work. Today's sequence is actually going to be Breathe Deeper this spring because the last time that we met, I looked back and we did spring clean already. So we're going to work on our pranayama, which is probably a good thing since, the state of everything can leave us feeling a little bit stressed, anxious, fearful. So it's good that we try and take the breath a little bit deeper today rather than leaving it real shallow where it might be residing for a lot of us. So for today's class, you'll need your mat and at least one block. If you don't have a block around the house and you don't want to go out to your car, you can grab a little stack of books or pillows. I'm sitting on a bolster right now. If you don't have a bolster, same thing, pillows, blankets, anything that'll lift you up, get your hips a little bit higher. When you come to easy seated pose is perfect. And if your body is really achy from anything that's been going on, I would just encourage you then to use this video for breath work and maybe sit some of these poses out, some of the sequencing out. It's just really important that you work on your breath at this time. That's the focus today. And so to help me kind of stimulate that in a different way than we usually do in class, since we have the luxury of being in our own homes, I'm going to, before I even start the class for everybody, I'm going to encourage you to go grab an essential oil. I know everybody should have one from 2 Christmases ago, or you may have your own collection of them. Today I'm going to use the essential oil blend Purified to help bring just another sense into our practice. So go ahead and grab your oil. I'll give you a second. What we're going to do with that oil when you return is we're going to take a couple of dabs, place it on our hand, rub it into your fingertips, and then we're going to rub it into the soles of our feet. So this is going to be used as another way for us to kind of connect to what is happening presently in this space. So I have taken this moment when most of the kids in the house are napping. My husband, I think, is eating lunch. My sister is downstairs waiting for the kids to wake up. So as minimal distractions as possible for me, but things pop up and things are going to happen. So using this extra grounding technique will help us hopefully stay really present. We'll be able to smell it throughout our practice. And my suggestion to you would be if you have a couple of different oils, I would pick something either citrusy or minty. Those are bold scents that when you breathe them in and out will help kind of awaken what's going on in your body. This Purify, for me, smells really lemony and kind of reminds me of like a floral lemony blend. So I'll use that citrus scent throughout practice tonight or today to help me stay present on my mat and not distracted from what's going on around me. So once you have that essential oil rubbed into the palms, into the hands, and into the soles of the feet, why don't you use a prop to sit and help yourself get a little bit higher off the ground. If we've been sitting a lot through this stay-at-home period, our hips are going to be tight, and this is a way for us to eliminate all the focus on sitting up nice and straight and just allow us to get cozy and prepare for our breath. So once you get to a comfortable seated position, make sure that you're sitting nice and tall, wiggle around a little bit, make sure that you're just exactly where you need to be. And then go ahead and close your eyes. I've found a little guided pranayama for us, so go ahead and tune into this new voice for a moment.
Close your eyes and rest your hands on your knees. Bring your attention to the touch of your body on your seat. Feel the weight of your body on your chair or cushion. Make sure that your back is straight and that you're comfortable. Take a few deep breaths. While you're breathing deeply, relax your shoulders, your stomach muscles, the muscles in your face, your hands, and your legs. Let go of all the tightness in your body. Now bring your attention back to your breath. Notice what it feels like as it enters through your nose, goes down through your throat, filling your lungs, and back out through your nose. Notice your stomach and chest rise and fall each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. And just allow your breathing to be natural and relaxed. Now bring your attention to the feeling of your breath in your nose. Feel your breath as it comes in and goes out. Just focus on this sensation, paying attention to each time you breathe in and each time you breathe out. As you inhale, maybe your breath feels cool. And as you exhale, maybe it feels a little warmer. When your mind wanders, or if you become distracted, just notice what's going on in your head, and then gently bring your attention back to your breath, going in and out. Focus on the feeling of your breath and allow thoughts and feelings to come and go in the background. Now gently bring your attention back to the touch of your body on your seat and open your eyes.
Good. And from here, we'll just keep a soft gaze in front of us and continue to take a few long, smooth, deep breaths. As you take these long, smooth, deep breaths, your eyes begin to close once again and you tune into the smell of that essential oil. Breathing nice and deeply, drawing that breath deep into your belly. That scent travels along with it, and then a slow, smooth exhale through the nostrils. If you didn't grab an oil, then you're just focusing these breaths on any smells around you. The comforting smell of your home, a pet, maybe laundry running. Slow, smooth, deep breaths, tuning into what is presently happening around us. As you continue to focus your attention on your breath and on that smell of the oil or your surroundings, I want you to assign a color to that inhalation, to whatever the smell is. So if you have an essential oil that is citrusy, maybe you imagine the color yellow, orange, or red. Breathing in through the nostrils, traveling deep through the back of the throat and down into the belly. If you chose something minty, an essential oil that is minty, maybe the inhale is the color of green, teal, or blue. Continue to draw that color in through the tip of your nose and slowly back out through the tip of the nose. Focusing on deepening that breath, on tracing that color as it enters through the nostrils and travels down that spine. Following the breath back up the spine and out through the nostrils. Just focusing on the qualities of your breath, perhaps the temperature of your breath, or thinking about the color and the smell assigned to that breath. And as you continue to deepen each inhale and each exhale, slowly begin to find your first body scan of your practice. Beginning at the crown of your head, take lots of time today in this practice to slowly take inventory of what's going on in your body. What does that internal landscape look like today? Some of us haven't been on our mats as regularly as we normally would like, so it's important that you take a lot of time to really investigate how your body feels coming onto your mat. As you continue to lengthen each inhale and exhale, go ahead and take this time to scan through your body. Once you find your way through the entire body, continue with your breath. Now you'll begin to find a breath that you can move through class with, nice and slow pace, something that you feel comfortable with. And when you're ready, slowly flutter those eyes open. Let's switch the crossing of our legs for a moment. And still sitting nice and tall. So one thing that I had seen over this time that we've been off is a way to kind of stimulate and drain the lymphatic system in our body. So a lot of times when we get sick as a result of stress or fatigue, you'll start to feel your lymph nodes around here start to get a little bit swollen. And so this is a stretch to help kind of stimulate and, like I said, just kind of pull some of the toxins out of that area, which I think is really good for this moment in time. So I'm going to add it to our class. So sitting nice and tall, if you're still on a prop, great. If you've moved off, that's okay too. We'll go ahead and take our right hand and place it in front of us. So find an anchor, maybe that's on the shin, the knee, somewhere on the leg. And then we're going to take this left hand and our shoulders are going to stay square, but we're going to place the left hand behind us, right behind that sacrum. And what we would normally do in the twist then would be that we would twist open to the left, right? And we look over that left shoulder. But today we're actually going to twist in what feels counterintuitive. We're going to twist the other way. So as always, we inhale and lengthen. And then exhale. We turn towards that right shoulder. From here, we try to line the chin with that right shoulder. And once you get to a comfortable position, you feel anchored in the lower body. You can slowly begin to tilt that head back, and you feel a nice long stretch through the left side of our neck. Find a comfy spot for you and continue long, smooth breaths. Taking one more cycle of breath here. And at the end of the exhale, let's return to center, both hands coming to center. So we're just taking that time, that stretch to just detox. And I guess what happens when we find a nice long stretch along the side of the neck is that it kind of begins to, as it stretches, it brings some of the lymphatic fluids to the surface and pumps them through so that it helps our body digest kind of some of those toxins that we don't want floating around. So we'll come to the second side. We'll take the left hand and place it on our shin. We'll take the right hand and place it behind us. Shoulders are nice and square as you take an inhale to lengthen. And exhale, we're twisting to the left. Trying to line up the chin with that left shoulder. Spine is nice and long. We're anchored through the lower body. And when you feel ready, slowly begin to tilt the head back to any degree that feels comfortable for you. So no need to go super far back. Just feel that nice, gentle stretch through the right side of the neck this time. Breathe into the stretch. One last cycle of breath. At the end of that exhale, good. Come back through center. Perfect. Let's see if we can line up our breath, even though we're not in the same room together. So go ahead and drop the hands down by your side. Inhale, draw that breath up. Follow the hands as they meet at the top, and then exhale those hands down in front of the heart. Good. Moving nice and slow. Let the breath lead. Inhale, drawing everything out and up. Exhale. One more time together. Keep the back nice and flat. Long fingertips, lots of energy. Drawing up. Exhale, hands down in front of your hearts. Good. Let's move off of our prop, coming into the middle of our mat. Leave the prop at the top of the mat. We're coming into tabletop pose. So our wrists are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips, our back is nice and flat. With our gaze forward, we'll take a nice big inhale. And as we empty out with our exhale, tailbone towards the heels, rounding through the back, chin to the chest. Taking an inhale, lifting the crown of the head up, tailbone up, belly drops down. Exhale, empty out, round through the back. Inhale, lifting, feel that heart pull forward. Continue now with the pace of your breath, moving from cat into cow pose. Slowly feeling your way into your bodies. Noticing any of those areas that you found to be kind of cranky, to be achy. Move your way through. If there's a pose, a cat or a cow that feels particularly good, take an extra breath and settle in that space. I think the intention and focus right now for this first virtual class is just to get comfortable back on our mats, to feel back into our bodies, and to work on that breath. Continuing with cat and cow, let me tell you about my intention for today's class. So as spring blossoms emerge and we move on from winter colds into spring allergies, this week's immune boosting heart opening class will support on focusing and supporting your respiratory health. We will melt and clear away any junk that has built up over the winter, which will help cultivate space for deeper and clearer breaths. We will use dynamic movements throughout class tonight and breathing techniques to open the chest and stimulate our lungs. This will continue to nurture our immune system, which is so necessary right now. So we'll go ahead and take 5 more cycles of breath to find any movement or stillness that feels good to you. So taking 5 more cycles of breath, long, smooth breaths, feel your way into your body, settle into a space. Make sure that this is what your body needs in this moment. One more cycle of breath, wherever you're at. Slowly, let's all find our way back into tabletop pose. So once you found yourself in tabletop pose, we're going to come into extended puppy pose. So it's important to make sure that your knees are right underneath your hips, and this is not going to move. Only our upper body moves. So sometimes when I cue puppy pose, you're not exactly sure if you're doing it right. Take a look real quick at what it should look like, and then you'll find your way into that position. So our knees are hips distance apart. That's important too. And we'll slowly start to walk our hands forward. My hips are going to stay over my knees as my heart melts, not my belly. My heart melts into the mat. Then I can rest my chin, a cheek, or my temple, forehead onto the mat. Once you get into puppy pose, you're going to take a couple of long, smooth breaths there. And puppy pose is a pose to open up the shoulders. So if this feels really uncomfortable to you, that makes sense. It means that we need to open our shoulders a little bit. If it feels really comfortable to you, then your focus is trying to get your heart to melt in towards the earth. And everybody now focus your attention on that little space behind your heart, that space that we can kind of keep locked up and tense. See if you can bring breath into that space to try and soften, to try and surrender and release in puppy pose. Take one more cycle of breath in puppy pose. And at the end of your exhale, slowly and carefully begin to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. From here, let's step our right foot forward. Good. And then with your right foot forward, we'll go ahead and pivot around so that that right foot, I'll do it on my mat this way, so that our right foot points towards the side of the mat. And we come up kind of in the middle of our mat. We're then going to take that right foot and extend it towards the top of the mat. And your toes are going to point not towards the side of the mat, or not to the front, to the side of the mat. So we're preparing for gate pose. Our right foot is forward, so we'll take the right hand and either place it on our thigh or our calf. We're not going to place it on our knee. And then we'll take an inhale with that left arm up and over. Ooh, feeling that nice long stretch along the left side of our body. I'm not mirroring you, so if you're going that way, then you're doing it right. Either way, we'll just make sure we do both sides. So feel that long line of energy from the left pinky all the way down to that left knee. Try and bring the right rib cage forward, so don't let yourself kind of arch here with your heart towards those right toes. We want to pull that heart open, feeling length all along the left side of that body. Taking one more deep breath. Good. Slowly exhale, draw that left arm down. Now we're going to switch. So if you mirrored me, you'll mirror me this time. If you did not mirror me, then make sure that you don't mirror me this time so that we get both sides. So now we have the left foot out. We'll take the left hand, place it onto the left leg somewhere, and then we'll take the right arm, inhale up and over. Reach those fingertips towards that wall that would be at the back side of your mat. Find lots of length through the right side of the body. Here, let's try and utilize the breath in that right lung, thinking about it like a balloon, inhaling, exhaling, filling with air, releasing the air. Good. Take one more big, deep breath here. Big stretch for those intercostal muscles, and then exhale. Good. Returning to center. So for you, I would turn yourself back around to the front of your mat so that you can see the screen. For me, I'm going to continue facing you. What we're going to do is come into a toe stretch now. So we're going to tuck our toes under like this. We're going to try and get the feet nice and close to one another. We're going to try and get the pinky toes to touch the mat. That's the hardest, or for me, the most difficult toe for me to get to touch the mat. I get the other ones, and then the pinky one doesn't want to cooperate. So when you get there, you can stay here. If this is pretty intense, you can always come down to your hands and just continue to push your weight back on those feet. Or I think for most of you, I've seen in class that we can come at least onto our knees. If not, we can begin to shift some weight back into those toes. Lots of stretching, lots of detoxifying going on in the feet right now. A position that we don't often give our feet, but our feet definitely crave it and enjoy it to a certain degree. So keep shifting that weight if you can. We should be breathing through this stretch. Take one more cycle of breath. Breathe through any discomfort. Good. And as you exhale, we'll all return into a kind of shortened tabletop, and we'll separate our knees and just tap the tops of our feet onto the mat. Good. Stretch out those toes, wiggle them around a little bit. All right, and from here, let's take our block and we're gonna place it, I like to place it on the highest setting, and we're gonna place it towards the top of the mat in the center. We're gonna use that block as a support for our head as we tuck our toes under, send our hips up high, and find our way into downward dog. If you can, I'd like the block to be a support for your forehead. So adjust your body so that the block is supporting your forehead in downward dog. Walk your dog, shift your hips. Get those hips nice and high. Get the back nice and flat. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. When things feel overwhelming, this should be our emergency go-to pose, downward dog, especially supported. That block that we're using under our forehead helps us feel a feeling of calm and restoration. This pose also helps increase our circulation, yet provide grounding energy. So we'll take one last cycle of breath here. Good, and then bend your knees. Take about 5 to 6 steps forward on your mat, and we'll meet in standing forward fold. Go ahead and move that block out of the way. Dangle here in forward fold. Maybe grab for opposite elbows. Make sure that the head and the neck are released. Listen to that breath. Try and get those hips right above the heels. When you're ready, bend in your knees. Bring your hands down by your side, tuck your chin to your chest, and slowly, slowly, slowly begin to roll up. Once you get to the top, go ahead and roll those shoulders back. And then closing our eyes, we'll reach our palms towards the space in front of us, resting the arms at our side, standing nice and tall in mountain pose. Listen to that breath. Mountain pose helps us to restore balance and regulate our digestive system. It also steadies our breathing. We can feel an increased awareness, we can feel tension relieved, and improved blood circulation. Mountain pose should leave you feeling refreshed because it increases your energy and harmonizes your body with your mind. So as we stand nice and tall at the top of our mat, feeling steady, feeling aware, energized, taking a couple of quiet moments to feel just the breath in our body. One last cycle of breath to steady. And when you're ready, slowly flutter the eyes open and let's begin to move. So we'll inhale, draw the arms out and up. Exhale, folding forward. On the inhale, lift halfway. On the exhale, fold, plant the hands, send the feet back to plank. Nice strong plank here as we reach the shoulders in front of the wrists and slowly lower through chaturanga. Inhale, lift in cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, send the hips up high. 2 deep breaths in down dog. At the end of your second exhale, bend your knees, travel to the top of your mat. When you get there, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms sweeping out and up. Maybe a little back bend as the hands meet at the top. Exhale, hands down in front of your hearts. Good. 2 more times. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, send your feet back through plank. Feel that navel draw in towards the spine as you lower through chaturanga. Inhale, lifting cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes. 2 big deep breaths. Maybe use the exhale to open mouth, sigh it out. At the end of your second exhale, bending the knees, traveling to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway when you get there. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms reaching out and up. Exhale, hands in front of our hearts. One more time. Feel the breath, link the movement. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Coming into plank. We lower through chaturanga. Inhale, lift in cobra. Exhale, 2 deep breaths. At the end of that second exhale, bend the knees, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, arms sweeping out and up. Exhale, hands in front of your hearts. Good. Take a moment here in mountain pose with the hands at our heart this time. Our thumbs pressing into our sternum and our sternum back into our thumbs. Eyes are closed. Gaze is inward. Slowly smoothing out that breath. Breathing deeper for spring. Clearing out anything that became stagnant during the winter. Leaving space to plant something new. Thinking about just this moment here on our mat. Feeling that mat underneath our feet. Feeling that energy that we can draw up from the earth into the soles of the feet. Maybe taking a pause, a moment here to lengthen that breath and see if you can tune back into that smell of the essential oil from the beginning of class. If you can pick up any of the aroma, those lingering scents, maybe tuning back into the color that we assigned that aroma at the beginning of class. Just tuning into this very moment here, the sounds around us, the walls around us. Maybe taking this moment with our eyes closed and the gaze inward to place yourself into our yoga studio on Tuesday nights, thinking about what's around you in that space, who's in front of you, who's behind you. Do you hear anything click on or off? What is the lighting like in your mind, in our space? Taking this moment, this collective togetherness, that even though we can't meet at our regular day and time and place, that we've given ourselves this time in our day to honor what we do regularly and to practice together, to move and breathe together. When you're ready, slowly flutter those eyes open. Hopefully our breath is a little more steady than it was before we came into this pose. And let's slowly move through a couple of peak poses here. So all poses to try and lengthen out our torso, to bring big, full, deep breath down into our bellies. So when you're ready, inhale, draw those arms out and up. And as you exhale, fold forward. As you fold forward, bend your knees. And let's send that right foot back. We're going to prepare our body for side angle pose. So our feet are in warrior two position with that right foot at a 45-degree angle and a good 90-degree angle here with that left foot, left toes pointed forward. Once you get your lower body into that position, then you'll take that left hand and you'll place it onto that left thigh. And then we'll inhale the right arm up. So the right hand should be directly above our nose. We should try and be spiraling that left rib cage up, the right rib cage back, finding side angle pose. A good bend is still in that front left leg. And when you feel your foundation is steady, then let's extend this side angle pose by bringing that right arm up and over, flipping the palm to face behind us, fingertips reaching towards the computer or TV or phone that you're watching this video on. We'll take long, smooth breath. Try and steady the breath into that right rib cage. Last cycle of breath. Return the right hand up above the nose. Then we'll slowly and carefully begin to bend that front left leg. And we'll slide that left hand down, either onto a block, our shin, or the floor. Triangle pose. So triangle pose, we try and draw the right rib cage back, the left rib cage under, this right hand directly above our nose, and feel like we could fall back into a wall behind us. Big, full, deep breaths. Feel that energy between the feet. Feel that energy draw up through the body. Last big cycle of breath. And exhale. Draw that right arm down. Pivot the feet around to parallel one another. And find wide forward fold. We use wide forward fold as a reset here. So find a good place for your hands, for your feet. Couple of deep breaths here. Now let's pivot around to the back of our mat. We're going to come into the second side. So this time we have the right foot forward, the left foot back. We have the right foot pointing towards the front of the mat or the back of the mat. And we have the left foot at a 45-degree angle. When you're ready, we'll take that right arm and place it down on our right thigh. And we'll inhale that left arm up above the nose. Side angle pose. Good bend in that front right leg. Energy reaching out through those left fingertips. Left rib cage pulls back, right rib cage pulls forward. Listen to the breath as it enters and leaves the body. And if the body is ready, then take that left hand, bring it up and over, reaching those fingertips in front of you, palm behind you. A big line of energy from the left pinky down to that left toe. Last big cycle of breath. And on your inhale, draw that left arm up and over. Begin to straighten through that front right knee. Find a landing spot for that right hand and come into triangle pose. Pull that left shoulder blade back. Feel that right rib cage pull from underneath, above. Finding a little spiral in the spine. Long, deep breath. Last cycle here. And exhale, draw that left hand down. Once again, parallel the feet. Find your way into wide forward fold. Lots of spots for your hands on the ankles, on the feet, in front of you, under you, behind you. They can rest on your hips to engage the core. They can rest on your legs to lengthen through the inside of the legs a little bit better. They can rest under your nose. Big, deep breath. Just a few more dynamic poses before we round out our practice. Take one more deep breath. At the end of your exhale, let's pivot back around to the front of our mat, where we'll go ahead and bring our back foot up to meet our front foot in standing forward fold. From here, we'll keep the knees bent, and just like at the beginning of class, we'll slowly roll up. The chin is tucked into the chest until we get to the very top. Perfect. So we got a little bit of heat building up. So while we have some of those muscles engaged in the breath, moving heat in and out of our body, let's come into a balancing pose. So from here, we'll shift our weight into the right foot, and we'll bring the weight off of our left foot. Then we'll find a landing spot for that left foot. So maybe it's on the ground, maybe it's leaning against our calf, maybe we bring it all the way up to our thigh. Wherever you decide to land, make sure that you can open up that left knee, and then we'll bring our hands to our heart. If you move to the wall, use one hand to hold the wall, and your other hand can still come to your heart. If you're not using the support of the wall, then maybe you can begin to extend your branches. And wherever you're at, let's take one more full cycle of breath, focusing on opening up that left hip. Good. At the end of your exhale, let's just return back to mountain pose and shake it out. Good job. It's been a while probably since we came into balancing poses. So let's try the other side. We root through the left leg, we come onto the right toes, and we find a landing spot, whatever feels good to us as long as it's not on a joint. We try and open up that right knee, keeping the shoulders and the hips nice and square, bringing our hand or hands to heart center. Steady the breath, steady the gaze. Maybe begin to grow your branches. Taking one more cycle of breath. Exhale, release, shake it out. Good, good, good. All right, from here, let's go ahead and we'll move our mats to a wall before we ring out our practice. So wherever you have some space, you'll bring a short end of your mat to a wall like we do in class. And once you get there, go ahead and turn around and face the wall, and then come down onto your seat. Once you get there, go ahead and draw the knees in, rock gently from side to side. Maybe draw some circles with the knees. And then let's hold on to the right leg, extend the left leg straight, and see if you can find the wall with that left foot. Once you've found the wall, anchor it there, then take the left hand with the right knee, and we'll go ahead and cross that midline coming into a reclined stretch. Use that left foot to anchor, use the left hand to gently twist, making sure that you keep your shoulder blades on the mat. Gaze can be over those right fingertips. Full deep breath. Winding down, wringing out. Take one last cycle of breath. Gently draw that right leg back through center. We'll give it one last hug. And we'll switch. Left leg comes up, right leg meets the wall. We'll take the right hand, left leg and right hand, crossing the midline, coming into a twist. Take one last cycle of breath. As you exhale, release the twist. Now we'll hug both legs into the body. We'll go ahead and reach for either our shins or the outsides of our feet. Finding our way into happy baby pose. Realigning that spine, finding some symmetry. Good, and once you feel comfortable, we're gonna slowly start to scoot ourselves to the wall to come to our inversion, so legs up the wall. The way that I like to do it best is I bring my hip nice and close to the wall, and then I kind of torpedo down, making those last little adjustments in towards the wall, trying to get my sit bones to touch the baseboard. Legs are extended. I'll rest my arms at my side, close my eyes, and slowly start to settle into your mat, feeling the benefits of your practice, tuning into the breath, finding this quiet space and time. Welcome to stay here for your final meditation with legs up the wall. Or if it's more comfortable, maybe come off of the wall, come onto your mat, settle your way all the way down, lying all the way back. Get into whatever position you want to be in for our final pose for Savasana. Get cozy, get settled. Release that long, full breath that we've been carrying through class tonight. Let the breath return to its normal pace, its normal depth, its normal course. Close the eyes and round out your practice. Try and settle the body. Try and refocus the mind. Do your best in this time to stay present on your mat. Focus on any sensations you feel in the body. Focus on the support you feel under your body. Or focus on the music you can hear in the background. Before I leave you to settle in your space with your eyes closed, your body beginning to relax, imagine me coming by with an essential oil, rubbing my hands to warm them above you, and then gently pressing down on the shoulders. As you draw your attention there, notice if those shoulders are rounded, if they're peaked up towards the ears, and slowly begin to relax them back, releasing as much tension and softening in the muscles. And then slowly let those palms just fall open, the fingers curl in naturally, and you settle fully into this space. Restoring energy that we've spent throughout practice, and bringing us right here into these final moments of our first virtual class. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Find movement back into your fingers and into your toes. Roll in your wrists and your ankles. Gently nod your head from left to right. When you're ready, bend your knees. And slowly roll on to the right side of your body, where you will pause in the fetal position. Our final pose, Savasana. Savasana is completing the pose of yoga. It is an opportunity to come home to yourself, where you can see that there really is no home unless you find it within yourself. It is the place where your whole being is awakened, where you allow and accept all feelings and emotions to arise, comfortable or otherwise. It is where we learn that openness is the key to inner strength, and that it doesn't come from resisting our fears and feelings, but rather from allowing them to rise up and then letting them go. It is a place to simply be you, simply and fully as you are. When you're ready, help yourself up to a comfortable seat on your mat, and we'll meet with our hands together in front of our hearts. Thank you all for making it to the end of the video, for practicing in your own space, in your own time, but still together. I hope that all of you are doing well and you are making do through this stay-at-home order. And I look forward to our next virtual session as well as in-person session, whenever that may be. But for now, it is with gratitude that I close our practice by saying, Namaste. Nice job, everybody.